Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Sam and I make videos about makeup, chronic illness, and whatever I want, and today I want to talk about managing my acne. You notice I did not say curing my acne. That is for a couple of reasons. One, I don't think there's a cure. I think everyone has different reasons for why they have acne, and a lot of them are just lifelong, like mine. Perfect timing that I'm actively breaking out. And two, I think it just makes an impression that somebody's doing something wrong, and if they just get better, they won't have acne anymore, which is completely wrong. Anyone who's suffered with acne, especially for a long time, knows that we have tried just about everything. So I took some footage of my skin close up that I'm going to insert. This is my current skin. Marks, scarring, some active acne. I have some blackheads on my upper lip. But I have hopefully found and inserted what my skin looked like when I started basically my acne journey in two ways. When I was a teenager, I had perfect skin. I would barely ever get a breakout. It wasn't until I was around 19 where my skin got really bad. You'll see I have a lot of texture on my forehead. It's because I had a ton of acne on my forehead at one point. I had no idea what was causing it. Over the years, I have researched a lot and learned a lot about skincare and a lot about acne. I've tried basically every product combination you can imagine. So the things that I use, there is no alternative. I've tried every alternative. I've tried cheaper alternatives, more expensive alternatives. These are the things that work well for me. That doesn't mean they're going to work perfectly for you. I hate to tell you that figuring out what works for your skin is a bit of trial and error. Some people have luck with something that just doesn't work for me, and something that works for me might not work for you. I just also want to add that acne is nothing to be ashamed or embarrassed about. It's a completely normal, human experience that all of us have dealt with either temporarily or long term. Mine, I'm going to be 35 and it's not going anywhere. I just have it fairly managed. So don't obsess over your acne. I know we're our own worst critics, but I promise you nobody's noticing it as much as you're noticing it. So now let's get into the things that help me keep mine managed. In the beginning, when I was trying to figure it out, I completely ruined my skin barrier by drying it out, trying all sorts of irritating brands and products to try and get this under control. I also cannot deny, for me personally, the hormones that played a role. I had a polycystic ovary that was causing severe issues. That has been removed. I have celiac disease, and so eating gluten was also contributing to it, and I had an untreated thyroid illness. All of those things made it even worse, but with all those things under control, I clearly still have acne. Like, there's no cure. I don't eat gluten. I'm on a celiac diet. The ovary is gone. My thyroid is treated. This is just life. But I wanted to add that in there because if you have some kind of health problem, what I listed or other things, that could also be playing a role into your skin, and unfortunately, there's not much we can do about it, especially if the illness is already under control. Another thing that plays a role in my acne, the new breakouts, I have this one and there's one starting over here, and this is I still mask. I have a compromised immune system and I don't want to get sick with anything from RSV to the C word. So I mask in public, and so that also plays a role. I didn't bring it in here as part of this. We'll get to the spray I use with the mask. I'll have to insert a picture because I completely forgot that's part of my acne routine. Now, I would really like to get into talking about ingredients briefly. Now, like I said, everything is trial and error. Like, for me personally, my skin is not super sensitive to fragrance, but yours may be. So this is kind of just a generalization because I don't know everyone's skin type. So take it with a grain of salt, of course. So there are some things that everyone should be avoiding because they're just skin irritants. And even if it doesn't feel like it's irritating your skin, it's just not good for your skin long term. And that is, the first one is honestly, this is probably the only one, is sodium lauryl sulfate. So some people tolerate this just fine, but overall it is just going to dry your skin out and damage your skin barrier, even if it doesn't look or feel like it is right now. Long term it will. So what this is a foaming agent that is found in like dish soap and cheaper shampoos. It's what fades the hair color if you dye your hair. So you can see why this is just something that you might not want to put on your skin, especially if you have acne. It's just going to dry your skin out, make your skin irritated, which is a perfect place for more breakouts. The next thing, like I mentioned, fragrance. Some people will be very sensitive to fragrance. I'm not sensitive to it. I just don't really like it much. It can be an irritant and it can cause drying. It depends on the person. I just try to avoid it whenever possible because I don't think it's necessary in skincare. Coconut products. Some people are fine with this. For me, it breaks me out horrifically. Not just regular breakouts, actual cystic acne breakouts that are really painful and don't like come to a head, so you can't use a pimple patch or anything. So generally, I recommend not risking coconut products because more often than not, somebody who has acne prone skin does not get along with coconut. Like I mentioned earlier, unfortunately, this is trial and error. It took me probably about 4 or 5 years of trying various stuff before I got to where I am. And I'm not saying it's going to take you 4 to 5 years. Back then, there just weren't as many products. But these are things that I have tried and repurchased so many times that I have lost count. So I feel confident recommending them as a place to start. I'm not saying that they're going to work as well for you as they do for me. But I feel very confident that these are a good jumping off point to figure it out. Now, I also have to tell you, some of these are expensive, and I'll explain alternatives that didn't work for me but may work for you. I'm going to kind of go over, not my whole skincare routine, but if you're interested in my whole skincare routine, let me know and I can make that a future video, but what I do at different times in the day for my acne specifically. So in the morning, I do not wash my face because I find it's just too stripping and it's not necessary. So I skip that. You might need to do it if you are incredibly oily or you're using like a wash off product overnight. So if I'm having an active breakout, like right now, in the morning, I will use this Paula's Choice 2% BHA. I've tried multiple BHAs and this one is the best bang for your buck in my opinion. I just get this little one because I don't get big breakouts like I used to where I'd have to use this all over my face. It's just little spots here and there. So this 1 ounce bottle lasts me quite a while because I think, yeah, it's good for 12 months and I absolutely wouldn't even use half of a full size bottle. I don't even always finish this size up in 12 months. This is salicylic acid, which for me works much better than any kind of benzoyl peroxide on its own. I know everyone's different. Some people react better to benzoyl peroxide, but this is actually a product that I have been using for about 12 years. So I'm very confident in saying that this is a good place to start. I think it's $13 for this little bottle to try it out. And this has worked really well for me. That's all I do in the morning for acne specifically. Very simple. And so if I'm not having an active breakout, there's nothing acne related I do for my morning skincare. The nighttime is a little more complicated. So we'll be here for a minute. But first of all, I start by washing my face. This is very dusty. Whether I'm wearing makeup or not, my skincare routine is the same. So that doesn't matter. I start with oil cleansing. This is something I just added in probably the last year because I was scared of finding an oil that wasn't going to break me out because I'd read so many reviews and people were like, this kind of broke me out, this kind of broke me out. And I have sort of the matching lotion, so I felt confident in trying this brand, the Skin 1004, because they specifically said that it was safe for acne prone skin. And yeah, this has worked wonders. I definitely recommend double cleansing because it helps get your sunscreen off. Whether you wear makeup or not, sunscreen isn't just going to break down with a normal cleanser. So definitely use this every day. And as you can see, it is well loved. I guess I should tell you how to use an oil cleanser real quick in case you're not familiar. So this is a Korean brand. You can find it on Amazon. And I think maybe this specific product might be at Ulta. I'm not sure. But so you start with dry skin and dry hands. And you will massage this into your skin for 60 seconds. I know this sounds like a lot of time, but it's very important. And after you've done that, you'll add a little bit of water to your hands and rub them together until it becomes like a milky substance. And then you'll massage that into your face for 60 seconds. And after that, you rinse. It helps get the oil all over and penetrate into the pores. And then once it turns into the milky lather, I guess you want to say, it really pulls everything out and off of your skin. Then I follow it up with my tried and true fresh soy cleanser. If you are new here, you don't know this, but if you're a veteran, you've seen many of these in my empties video. I recommend this face wash for anyone with any skin type. Dry, oily, young, aging, acne prone, normal. Like, this is almost gone. I think I have like one use left in it, but this is so good. A little goes a long way. You don't need a whole bunch, but this is truly an amazing cleanser. Once those 2 steps are done, things vary by day, I would say. 6 days a week, we have the Holy Grail, the thing that started my skincare journey and the thing that got me to here from that before photo is the Drunk Elephant TLC Framboos Glycolic Night Serum. I'm sure you have heard nightmares about this on the internet from the teenagers who are obsessed with it because it's hot pink. Ignore all of that. This is incredibly gentle and incredibly powerful. This does not affect my skin barrier. This does not burn. This does not tingle. This is the perfect acne fighting product. I have tried other things. I have tried dupes. I have tried mixing these percentages where I get like a 1% BHA and 10% AHA. I've tried everything. Those things just fucked up my skin barrier severely and they did not control my acne. I have put my skin through hell to truly test these things before I made this video. Like, I've spent a couple of years trying other stuff to see if there are alternatives. For this, there is not. I cannot recommend anything other than this. There's another product that I use regularly that I can recommend something cheaper, but this, absolutely not. So after I wash my face and it is dry, I apply this every night except for Sundays. Once a week, I will tell you what I use, which is the TLC Sakura Baby Facial, also by Drunk Elephant. Now, this, a little goes a long way. It's good for 12 months, and it takes me a whole year to use it up. There might even be a little left after the year. You don't need more than a pea size for your whole face. Even if it doesn't feel like it's all over your whole face, it is, I promise. This isn't fully necessary, but I found if I add this into my routine, my acne is more controlled. You will survive without this or the alternative, which I'll get to in a second. But I find this really, really helps, especially if I have to go a long period of time where I'm kind of neglecting my skincare. Let's say I'm in a bad flare or I've gotten sick or something and my skin has really freaked out around period time, hormone change. This really just kicks the healing into high gear. Now, I'm going to insert a picture. I have tried the ordinary version of this, which is a little bit stronger. I liked that you could see where you were applying it because of the color. Personally, I felt it was a little too harsh and it didn't work quite as well for my skin. That doesn't mean it won't work for your skin, but for my skin, I went back to this. So if you don't want to try this, they do make a mini. They also make a mini of this just so you can try them out. If you don't want to try them out, you don't want to spend the money, and you don't want to spend the money for the full size, I do recommend giving the ordinary, I don't remember the name, picture will be up here. Give that a try in replacement for the face mask. Now, after I've done that, and I have moisturized, if I have an active breakout at night, I will do one of two things. Like for this guy here, I used a pimple patch. Mighty Patch is my favorite. I think they just stick the best. And They're pretty hard to see unless someone's up close. So I use these. I love pimple patches. Since they've come around and become popular, they have been total lifesaver, especially as me. As you could see, this is all scarring. I scar very easily. Or I will use, depending on what kind of breakout it is, we'll use the Kate Somerville Eradicate. This is, you can't really see, but so this is all alcohol just to keep this protected. This is a spot treatment in here, so you just dip a Q-tip in, and it's like mostly sulfur. So it smells kind of like a burnt match. There are, I should say, because there's more than one now, products that try to replicate this, and they do not work. I don't care what anyone tells you. When you look at the ingredients of active versus inactive ingredients, sulfur is the first ingredient here, which means it is the most potent. In the other ones, there are other ingredients that come first, which means it will be less potent. And I have tried them. They do not work. This will last you for literally ever. I threw away one that was literally half a bottle just because it was old and expired. Like, a little goes a long way, and this goes on sale quite frequently. So you don't have to pay the full price, but even at full price, I think it works really well. Now let's talk about something else that can work for acne, but I don't think it worked well for me. It works well for other things, but not really for my acne, and that is retinol. Some people can get prescription retinol. I'm just going to talk about over-the-counter retinol products, not tretinoin, which is the prescription version. I was on tretinoin back in the day when all the acne stuff started, and it did literally nothing for me except, help me shed skin. It helped with the scarring. That was it. It did not help with the acne. I find that now as well. Like, it helps with the scarring and it helps with the skin turnover. My skin looks bright and beautiful, but it doesn't really do much for acne. So if I do a full skin routine, I will touch more on retinol because I'm not currently using it. Long story for another time. But if I add it back in, it would not be part of my acne regimen. It would be for something completely different. Not telling you not to talk to your doctor or try tretinoin. It is often with insurance more affordable than my routine. But if you have found that the tretinoin or retinol product is not working for your acne, you're not alone. You're not weird. You're not doing it wrong. It didn't work for me either. So just keep that in mind. Now, out of all of this stuff, if there's only one thing I could recommend, it would be a good face wash because that's a good place to start. You don't want to be stripping your skin and you don't want anything that stays on top of your skin either. You just want to make sure it's hydrated and clean. But if I had to only recommend one active product, this. I would wash my face with a bar of soap if I could keep it in this. That's how good it is. I have been using this for 10 years now. I think 2024 was 10 years and I can't live without it, truly. I mean, I can, but my skin is an absolute disaster. So, like I said, there are travel sizes. I'm going to link this stuff down below. They're not affiliate links. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. Nobody's giving me money for anything. There are small sizes of everything, so you could try it, see how your skin likes it, and then go from there. If you are like, oh, my skin hates this, you can look at the ingredients and avoid things in the future. Like, I'm not going to try this product because this ingredient really irritated me. So to reiterate, to circle back around, skin is not created equal. What works for me may not work for you, vice versa. I have just put a lot of work, time, and money into this, and I thought I would share some things that work for me to maybe give you a jumping off point or an idea of trying a product that maybe you haven't tried yet. Now, you might be like me and never fully clear up your acne. You'll always have breakouts, but having a decent routine just keeps it more manageable, and I would say a lot less painful. Big breakouts just really hurt sometimes. Acne does not make you less of a beautiful person. It doesn't mean anything negative. It's just skin is a big old organ and sometimes organs just don't want to cooperate. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.